city of music called Vienna, one of the greatest composers of all time, Franz Schubert, was born. His father was a schoolmaster, and he earned very little money. But the Schubert family was happy, because at night they would play concerts at home. Later on, Franz was to write wonderful songs that would be played in homes all over the world. Here is one of them, Schubert's Serenade. Papa Schubert would play the violin, while Franz's brother would play the piano. And happiest of all was little Franz, who could hardly wait till after supper for the wonderful music. Pretty soon he too learned to play the piano. On Sunday mornings, the family would go to church, and Franz would long for the day when he might sing in the choir. So one day his father spoke to the choir master. "You will find, choir master, my son Franz knows his music because it is in his heart." And the very next Sunday, Franz sang in the choir. In a short time, Franz was enrolled in the Royal School. Here he studied his lessons, and then he began to play in the school orchestra. At night, his fellow students could hear the scratching of a pen by candlelight. It was Franz, who had already started to write melodies. He had no time during the day, so he wrote at night. Inspired by the choir of the little church where he had sung, he wrote Ave Maria. And this lovely melody will be played forever in all the churches of the world. Write songs, and he wrote many for his friends while he was at school, like this one, the Scherzo in B flat. Franz Schubert, we will have no music during study hours. It was the severe voice of the director of the school. "But I like music more than anything else in the world," said Franz. "Is that true now?" said the director, smiling a little. "Well, we'll just have to see what we can do about that." And the next day, what do you think? Franz was brought to the great music master Salieri. "I will teach you music, Franz," said the great man, and he did. Before long, Franz Schubert was made the conductor of the school orchestra. Night after night, Franz led the orchestra through the music of Mozart and Beethoven and other noted composers of the day. And then one evening, something wonderful happened. Franz Schubert directed the orchestra in his own composition. This is the music he wrote, and it was to live forever in the hearts of the people all over the world. Play, Franz. Play your new song for us. That was what Franz Schubert heard from the lips of his friends all the time. And play he did. Wonderful melodies poured from his never-tiring pen. There just wasn't enough time to write down all the melodies in his head. Here is one you know, the Love Waltz. At last, it was time for Franz to come home to teach in his father's school. Schoolmaster Schubert was delighted. "Franz will teach music to the little boys of my classes. He will be a schoolmaster like all the Schuberts." But teaching was not enough for Franz. Day after day, new melodies sang in his heart, and he had to write them down. The Earl King was a song inspired by a poem. You can hear the galloping of the horses' hooves in the music. You know, Franz Schubert lived in a suburb of Vienna where a beautiful brook flowed by. In the summer, he would sit on its banks and listen to the rippling stream. Can you see the trout swimming in the brook in this melody he wrote? Franz wrote many symphonies and operas and wonderful ballets. Listen to the music from his lovely opera, Rosamund. At last, his former teacher, the great Salieri, said to him, "Franz Schubert, you will do me a great honor to play your latest composition." And this is what Franz played for him. It is called "Thine Is My Heart." From then on, Franz Schubert's melodies were heard all over Vienna, his beloved city, and his fame spread to all parts of the world. He lived just to write his music and bring joy to his friends. He would walk down the streets and hear his compositions played in the parks, and people came from everywhere to his concerts. His operas were produced in a theater in Vienna, and the audience refused to go home until Franz appeared to take a bow on the stage. But he was happiest when he could just sit at the piano and play his new songs for his friends, the songs that could be heard through the streets of Vienna and everywhere. And today, all the world hears and loves the beautiful music of Franz Schubert.